Hey guys, I'm just going to share my latest thoughts and feels with you. I've woken up with a deep sense of detachment today. It almost feels like depression, but it's not depression because there's no desire to escape, there's no stories of self-annihilation going on. There's just an acknowledgement of a shift, of a detachment, and it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel comfortable, I guess because it's not fully integrated yet. And the ego, this part of the ego, is still in the process of dying. But yeah, to put it into the practical reality, what I've experienced this morning is I've woken up just with a sense of nothingness. I mean, the first thing to note is that I woke up after a fantastic sleep, which is new for me. You know, I've never really slept well, but the last 4 nights, I've been sleeping really well, waking up, you know, late into the morning. By late, I mean like 8:30 rather than my usual 5 a.m. I'm feeling really well rested. But usually when I wake up, I can now see, you know, I used to think it was just healthy, but I can now see that I used to wake up with a very manic energy, with a need to escape the present moment, and that would show up as coffee, coffee, cigarette, cigarette, coffee, coffee, cigarette, cigarette, coffee, you know, like 4 or 5 coffees. And there was a story of like, I need this, I have to do this to be able to function in the day. But really what it was escaping feeling and escaping the present moment. I can see that now. So it still happens, but this morning I've had 2 coffees. And the first cigarette, I barely even enjoyed it, and usually I'm like, oh yeah, give it to me. I ended up forcing a second cigarette down because this pattern, you know, that I think is dying, it's strong, and it's still there. But yeah, I'm filming with only 2 coffees and 2 cigarettes this morning, rather than 4 or 5. And then the other big noticing was no excitement around doing a video. Like, usually I wake up with this like electric oh, it's time to make a video, it's time to make a video, it's time to make a video. Which obviously comes from the ego, which obviously comes from the need to be seen. So I'm struggling with, it's so hot today, whoa. But this morning there was just a practical acknowledgement that I'm going to create a video because I have nothing else to do, and I do feel like it's what I'm meant to do. I feel like it's some sort of purpose, but there was no like attachment to it. There was no excitement around it. And you know, it's very easy to feel sad about that. It's very easy to feel like that's not progress. Excitement feels good, right? But for every manic up, there's a down. And what I find on this journey is, you know, my life used to be like this, like, whoa, I love life, oh my god, I want to die, oh my god, I love life, whoa, I want to die. And I find that as I go further on this journey with self, that it becomes much more like this rather than this. And I think I recently shared a video about going into the void and feeling all of this extremely. And I think that process has led to where I'm at today. And obviously this is just an unraveling, like this is just the start of this movement towards stillness and presence and essentially separation from self, separation from ego, moving out of duality and separation and more to oneness, I am, peace. But it can be very boring. You know, because obviously adrenaline is addictive. Dopamine is addictive. And, you know, I think back to... Yeah, so I used to... This excited feeling I'm trying to speak into, I used to think that was a really good thing. I can remember about... Oh, man, it was when I was in Africa. So that's like 20 years ago. More. 22 years ago. I remember going on a tour and getting drunk and going into this fantasy about the business I had at the time and all these African kids wearing the t-shirt. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Total delusion. And feeling this immense excitement, which was so egoic. It was so like, oh my god, people in Africa wearing the t-shirt of my business, won't that be amazing? And then I can remember another time, say 10 years later, lying in bed late at night, fantasizing probably about money and being a big businessman. I can't quite remember what the story was, but I'm feeling this intense excitement and trying to recreate that in my life all the time, the excitement. And that would play out in all my sexual meets, like the most extreme sexual meet I can possibly have. Excitement. But actually it was deep fear as well. Like I remember when I used to go to meet these horrible men who were gonna screw me up the asshole as hard as they could in a bush somewhere and strangle me at the same time or whatever. You know, shaking. And it was because I couldn't feel, because I was so repressed, and like it was like the only way I could feel something. And the great paradox is, now that I can feel it all, now that I'm fully sensed, and I say fully sensed, you know, fully sensed to my present level of experience, I'm sure there's more to go, that I just don't require excitement anymore. But like I say, in the letting go of that, feels like a sadness. Like there definitely was a thought that came up this morning when I recognised that I wasn't excited about doing a video, of like, oh, what's the point in being alive? I didn't really go into it, I didn't really attach to it, and here I am doing a video about 20 minutes later, and I feel really grounded. But I can, you know, I can feel now a bit of a sinking feeling in my solar plex, a bit of a, I guess, a lack of trust, a bit of fear around the nothingness and the stillness. But it's all just a process and a transition that I have to trust, that I have to go with. The signs around slowness are very strong at the moment. Stillness, slowness, I mean, a lot of videos I'm getting are of that nature. And lots of signs in my life, like I kept leaving the key in my bike when I would go into places, and then panicking like, where's my key? And then I've left it in my bike, which obviously is a security risk, especially in this part of the world. You know, there's a lot of theft in Latin America, so crazy. And then I was driving, honestly, so many, I mean, I've had a few near accidents as well because I've been going too fast. And then on my moped, and then a really bizarre one where I was going not fast at all, and there was a mother and a child turning around on a bike in front of me, and I stopped like 3 meters before her. Like there was no danger whatsoever. Yet these locals were like, slow down, slow down, slow down. Most of them in their native language, but I didn't understand, but a couple of them said it in English, so I knew what they were saying. And it was such a bizarre reflection because there was no danger. But again, I just see the signs. I just see, okay, the universe is clearly telling me to slow down. And I got really similar messages when I was in Thailand, when I was completely manic. And I was like, I'm opening 3 businesses, I'm doing this, I'm putting it all on YouTube when it's all illegal, and I'm going to end up in jail. And the universe was sending me so many signs to slow down, but I didn't listen to them. And then I had a major bike crash where I was literally like this for 3 weeks. And it was like a force slowing down. And then I didn't even listen to that, so it put me in jail. You know, like, the universe will bring you the lessons you need. The lessons that aren't learnt today will just come back stronger tomorrow. Which is why there's no hiding from this journey once you're on it. And I believe everyone's on it to some degree. There's many that are still holding the blinkers, but we're all on it. The Schumann resonance is rising, the sun has changed colour, the sun is now of a higher vibration, like it's happening all around us. Vibration is raising, which is why the veil is lifting, which is why, oh man, like Jerome was explaining to me how you can only see down in densities. So if you're in the 4th density, you can see the 3rd density. And that reptiles are of the 4th density. So that's why people are starting to see them. Those in the 5th density can now look down and see the reptilians. You know, it's which is why it's starting to be exposed. Really interesting stuff. I don't know if you find it interesting. Let me know if you do. I think we'll wrap that one up there, because I could go off on many tangents, but I might as well make separate videos out of them. Thank you for your support recently. The comment section is just beautiful now, just beautiful. Obviously that's a lot to do with my moderators, but it also feels like there's a shift. Reading the comments today was just blissful, and it does feel really, oh no, that's a separate video, Big love, thanks for being here, thanks for all that like the video, thanks for all that comment. It means the world to me, it really does. Hyping, I don't know what that means, but please do it. You know, please help support. If you believe that there's some value in this content, if you feel like it can help people, if it helps you in any way, then please allow it to help other people. You know, please do your bit to support it. Thank you to Shani, who sent me a donation yesterday. Just amazing. I explained in yesterday's video how much that means. You know, it's much more than the material. The material, you know, it really helps in a material way, but it's, and by material I mean buying good food and sleeping in nice places. Obviously I'm not fucking trying to buy a Ferrari. But it's the signs, you know, because the one thing that isn't really matching my existence yet is the abundance. You know, it's not flowing. The numbers aren't there. I've lost Not Today Satan, which is where I made my money. So yeah, that isn't coming into my reality yet. But with every little donation I receive, it's just this little sign from the universe that I'm meant to be doing this and I'm on the right track. So yeah, please consider doing that. I know it's a massive ask, and I'm not expecting many of you to do it, but bank details, Patreon, and buy me a coffee are all linked below. If you do join the Patreon as well, then you get early releases of all English refugee videos, early releases of some of this channel, and I'm still doing Not Today Satan videos on there. I'm doing 4 a week. Alright, big love. Thank you all so much for your support. I love you so much. Thank you.